Quran, hadis kisah, Quran, Islam. محمد يسلم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت حل بهذا البلد ووالد وما ولد لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا أيحسب أن لم يره أحد ألم نجعل له عينين ولسانا وشفتين وهديناه النجدين فلاقتحم العقبة وما أدراك ما العقبة فك رقبة أو إطعام في يوم ذي مسغبة يتيما ذا مقربة أو مسكينا ذا متربة ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة أولئك أصحاب الميمنة والذين كفروا بآياتنا هم أصحاب المشأمة عليهم نار مؤصدة. صدق الله العلي العظيم. الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
رباب بیٹھی شہ دی کے قبر پر تھی محو اس طرح سے کہ ہٹتی نہ تھی نظر. زینب بڑھی دیکھ کر بولی جھکا کے سر، اٹھیے بہت ہے دور کا بھابھی ابھی سفر. ایک آہ کی رباب نے یوں پھٹ گیا جگر، بولی طرف کے زینب مضطر سے نوحگر، بیٹا ہے کربلا میں تو بیٹی ہے شام میں. کیجے دعا یہ بار گئے خاص و عام میں. سو جاؤں میں بھی قبر شہ تشنہ کام میں، حسرت نہیں کچھ اور میں اب جی کے کیا کروں، جی کے کیا کروں. شوہر ہے میرے ساتھ نہ، بیٹا ہے پاس میں، دیکھوں میں کس کی راہ جیوں، کس کی آس میں. کیا رہ گیا ہے جسم کی بوسیدہ سانس میں، میں جی چکی بس اور میں اب جی کے کیا کروں، جی کے کیا کروں. جس سے تھا زندگی میں اجالا چلا گیا، 6 ماہ جس کو گود میں پالا چلا گیا، بی بی ہمارا حسریوں والا چلا گیا، کیا رہ گیا اور میں اب جی کے کیا کروں، جی کے کیا کروں۔ اصغر سدھارے سامنے نظروں میں آپ کی، توڑا ہے دم سکینہ نے گودی میں آپ کی، جھولی میں کچھ رہا نہیں بی بی رباب کی، یہ آ گیا ہے دور میں اب جی کے کیا کروں، جی کے کیا کروں۔ کب سے کھڑی ہوں آس لگائے میرا ہمیں، جاؤں کہاں بتائیں اس حال تباہ میں، شک ہو کہ لے لے مجھ کو بھی اپنی پناہ میں، میں جی چکی بغور میں اب جی کے کیا کروں، جی کے کیا کروں۔ مانگے گی مجھ سے فاطمہ صغرا جو بھائی کو، دوں گی جواب کیا میں بھلا، غم ستائی کو کیا منہ دکھاؤں احمد مرسل کی جائی کو، اے دشت ظلم و زور، اے دشت ظلم و جور، میں اب جی کے کیا کروں، جی کے کیا کروں۔ صلوات۔
Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. We send our condolences to Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman Ajallah Ta'ala Farajahu al-Sharif on the 40th of his grandfather Al-Imam al-Hussein Salamullahi alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect the millions and millions of Zawar al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in Iraq. Your prayers, your dua, inshallah, for all the mu'mineen, all the brothers that they are mashaya in Iraq. With your permission, dear brothers and sisters, we welcome Sayyid Masoom for the speech with the salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا يفرغ المنع والجمود ولا يكفيه الإعطاء والجود إذ كل معط منتقص سواه وكل مانع مذموم ما خلاه والمنان بفوائد النعم وعوائد المزيد والقسم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي والأبتحي التهامي السيد البهي والسراج المضيء والكوكب الدري صاحب الوقار والسكينة المدفون بأرض المدينة العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد والمصطفى الأمجد والمحمود الأحمد سيدنا وسيد الكونين جد الحسن والحسين خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه القرآن وخطابه الرحمن وقوله الحق وهو أصدق الصادقين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين صلوات اللهم صل. Dear brothers and sisters, respected audience, you are here to commemorate the Arba'in, the 40th. Actually, tonight is the 40th night and tomorrow will be the 40th day. Very significant landmark in the history of Islam as well as in the history of mankind. Very important day also for us to get back together. Remember what happened on the day of Ashur in Karbala and also revitalize the message of Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Salawat. To the extent that most of you are aware, I'm very sure, I have yaqeen and faith that most of you have, maybe all of you have heard the hadith of Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salatu wassalam, in which he has Imam Masoom, the 11th Imam, the father of our Imam Zamana, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Faradahu Sharif, says that 5 things are alaim of mu'min. These are the signs if you want to know who is our mu'min. So it's coming from the Imam Masoom, very significant because he is telling us, and then we don't have a space there to move around and say, no, this means this and this means this. 5 things will determine us
in Zahiri, in the expression of our character, our being, our existence. These 5 things are so important, and one of them is Ziyaratul Arba'een. I will, for the benefit of all of us, we will go back again and to remember those 5 things and see the place of Arba'een, Ziyarat Arba'iniya in that hadith of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, so that we can once again tonight, we can re-educate ourselves and make it in our mind that tomorrow is that day when you have to present your special salam to Imam Hussain and the Shuhada Karbala and Asiran Kufa Sham. Very important. Imam says the Salatul Ihda wal Khamseen, that you have to have a moment. Our moment is one who reads the Salat in the 24-hour cycle, 51 rakats. So brothers and sisters, this is also very important for us to know. A lot of us, I admit, first of all, making an admission, at the same time asking you to pray for my health as well as tawfiq. It is not only health, it also makes, if you get the tawfiq, you know. Most of us do the Salatul Layl as well, which is 11 rakats. Then you have Salatul Fajr, which is 2 rakat of wajib and 2 rakat of nawafil before. And then you have 8 rakats of nawafil before Zuhr and 8 rakats of nawafil before Asr. That is where most of us are deficient. Because at the time, either you are in the office or you are doing something else and you forget to do that. But in order to make our Imam happy and get that special stamp from his pak and pure hands that one has done it, we have to make sure that we get enough time to, even if you, for the nawafil, even if you sit down and do it without any excuse, even then nawafil are acceptable. Nawafil is not obligatory to stand up like the wajib is, you know. So those, if you do all those with 4 rakats of maghrib and then 1 rakat which you do while sitting 2 rakats, all of that makes it 51 rakats of salat in a duration of a day and night in 24-hour cycle. So mashallah, if you do that, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is saying, and starting with salat first, and immediately after salat, when I see the hadith, it says on the second it says Ziyaratul Arba'een. Immediately after that. Another sign of a moment, an alamah with which you can recognize him, that he is that conscious person who has the sense of duty towards Imam and the Karbala. That sense of duty. Some people have said, our Mufassirin have said that Ziyaratul Arba'een actually means going to Arba'een. But at the same time, we know that those who cannot go, like you and me are sitting here, Allah's Prophet and His holy progeny has given us the way to be a participant there by doing the ziyarah, by being in salat and remembering them, so that you will be also counted among those who have done the Ziyaratul Arba'een. Salawat. So see how important it is, and now you will also realize, some of you already know very well, some of you who are new here, maybe not attending majalis too many times, but Allah has given you tawfiq to be here right now, mashallah, that's good, that you also now will understand why the millions of people from different corners of the world are gathering in Karbala. What is happening? And Karbala is showing that strange and unique and unparalleled show of unity of not only Muslims but also from other religions, making it an occasion where you also commemorate Imams and you also enhance his mission, and you also are answering his call of Hal min nasirin yansuruna. Is there somebody who would now come and assist me in my mission? Yes, mashallah, the awaz is labbaik ya Hussain. If we also from here do it, because our Imam says, man qala Labbaika ya Hussein, Rahimallahu man qala Rabbaika ya Hussein. 10 times we can say it, and then I will continue inshallah. Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein. لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين صل على محمد آل محمد وسجل with the sins يا علي يا علي يا علي اللهم صل with the sincerity of our niyyah, our intention and the purity of our heart, we have, mashallah, called upon, we have given our answer, and inshallah this answer is acceptable by our Imam, and we will be participating from, even though it is from remote, that I remember Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, how somebody came to Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, and he said that I am, he introduced himself to Imam, and he said that I am your Shia and follower of your path. Imam looked at him with his ilm imamat, the knowledge which he had from being an Imam of the time, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from ilm ladunni, that ilm which Allah has given him, that has been granted by Allah to him. He said, are you sure you are our Shia? So he says, yes, Aqab, I am Mawla, I am Shia, and this and that. He said, look, there is a little difference, and that must be observed. As far as the Shia is concerned, Shia is one who has, whose qalb, whose heart follows our dictates. So maybe you should revise your stance and say that you are from amongst the mawalikum wa muhibbikum, from the mawali and muhibbi, the one who has love for us. But being a Shia, you have to revise this. You have to understand what it really means. That reminds me from the Holy Quran, where when it says, وَلَمَّا يُدْخِلُ الْإِيمَانُ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ, that you can call yourself Muslim, but don't say that you are Mu'min, because the Iman has not entered your heart yet. So brothers and sisters, the travel from the tongue to the heart is the travel. I am giving you an analogy for the youngsters to remember. That is the distance from Mecca and Karbala. That is from Mecca and Karbala. What is the difference? In one line, the difference is from tongue to the heart. Prophet ﷺ, all 23 years of his life, he struggled to bring the kalima, La ilaha illallah, to the tongue of the people around him. And Quran says that they became Muslim, but they were hardly Mu'min. They were not Mu'min. Most of them were not. If you see what happened after the demise of Prophet ﷺ, then it further gives you verification that exactly this is what happened. So if you want to see, Allama Ala-Ili in his book mentions this whole discourse, and I am borrowing his thought and his intellectual effort. And he's saying that if you see what Prophet ﷺ did and that how it was followed by Imam Hussein ﷺ in Karbala, then you will realize that it is not only Prophet who is the founder of Islam. Islam in the beginning, the first founder is Muhammad Mustafa, but the person who came to make sure that he will expose those who had La ilaha illallah only in their tongue and not in their heart. So actual revolution is completing in Karbala. So that is what is the distance from Mecca to Karbala. The time Makkah or Medina, you can also include, it's the start of the beginning of the message of Islam. And then when in Karbala, that he is checking people around, and even the youngsters are saying, Al-mawtu ahla min al-atal. The mouth, the death is for us sweeter than honey, sweeter than asal. Why? Because all these statements which are coming from Karbala, and the selflessness and the devotion which we see, and the love which is going around the person of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, is showing that the revolution is completing in Karbala. So he is getting the shirk out of those hearts and making them pure and clear. That's why when you talk about the 72 of Karbala, you can't get an example in any time period of those 72 so pure that the prophets and the Awsiya and Awliya Allah desired and want to be part of them. And we are praying to get the intercession of those shafa'at of these Shuhada Karbala, because we are always remembering them one after the other. We do remember those people who have given their lives, and they were the real pure Muslims. The shirk was not even with them. In Quran Majid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَن يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ. Anybody who is doing the shirk, where does he stand? Well, even everybody who says La ilaha illallah, obviously, apparently should not be a mushrik. But we know that people who were saying La ilaha illallah, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam in Karbala was showing their faces, look at these people, they all say La ilaha illallah. But what they are doing, they still have their idols, they are worshipping their ghair Allah in their heart. Their word, they were believers of Allah, but they were not believers of La ilaha. So La ilaha is the nafi, the negativity, negating anything other than Allah. So that negation was not. They were also worshipping power, they were worshipping dunya, they were worshipping mal, they wanted the hukumat and the government. So all those things they were doing, all that for that purpose. And there were all those 72 souls, and some of the women, I must not forget them, those who were in the Khayyam at that time. But the thing is, this sacrifice, I must also add here, is a very, very, very significant addendum. One must remember that this thing which Hussain protected and perfected in Karbala would not be available here today to even make a zikr of that, even make a mention of that, if the female of the Prophet's family and the lovers of Prophet family not there. They are who kept this flame of sincerity and devotion to Allah alive. So it's very, very, that is why when you talk about Karbala, again, let me tell you, the Karbala is incomplete without talking about Kufa and Sham. It is incomplete. So Ashura is incomplete. We have not heard anybody say that do Ashura do, because we have to do it anyway. That's Imam, our Imam is there. But after the Imam, the real test comes, like you and me also go through this test today. Every day we go. After the 10th of Muharram, we become so relaxed. We don't know what is going on in the streets of Kufa and Sham. What was happening, only few of us remember. And then they are taking the lessons from it. But actual fight was continuing to the streets of Kufa and Sham. And that is where the victorious personality of and the triumphant personality of Hazrat Zainab Salamullah Alayha. And that is when you come to Chehlam, you remember Zainab. This Chehlam is Arba'in Hussaini, but with the support of Hazrat Zainab Salamullah Alayha. If Zainab is not there, there would be no Chehlam. There would be no Chehlam means Arba'in. So Parsi is the 40th day. And also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make sure that if you have that flame of Iman, is it still continuing? Only 40 days? Just do it, because some people say, some of our Mufassirin said 40 days is so important that if you can really be an azadar, a follower of Imam, and following each and every day, every instruction of Imam, and live life only 40 days, like the Ramadan is only 30 days and changes you for next 11 months. If you do it, the azadari in the real sense, kama haqquhu, kama haqquhum, according to whatever is they deserve, who? Muhammad wa Muhammad. If you do it, then the whole year you will remain a change-hearted person. Your heart will be munqalib. You will not be the same person. So that's why a lot of people also say, I have met a lot of people. I have seen, even today I was looking at some on the clips on the internet, how people are joining the tashayyu, how they are following Imam Hussain sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For the love of Imam, they are walking and they are presenting to the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is asking, why are these people doing all this? What is going on? So, this is the example. They don't care about the lawmat al-la'im, salawat. Hussain, you can do nara now, this is the time. Salawat again. Allahu Akbar. Ya Allahumma salli ala. So in Qara, the slogan of Imam is very clear, that istaqamah, the steadfastness and the resolve which Imam has, is showing that resolve, and that someone from some place, and of course the Prophet's family was given that task, had to show, have to give this proof. This is the most important proof of prophethood and Allah's Tawheed, which is happening in Karbala. That is why Imam is saying with such great resolve, he says, in kana deen Muhammadin lam yastaqim illa biqatli faya suyuf khuzini. All swords, talking to the swords of the enemies, those who are trying to frighten 72 of Imam's companions. 30,000 is the average number which has been mentioned by both our Sunni brothers and Shia brothers and every historian. 30,000 people. And in actuality, they were more than 100,000, because Yazid was at that time the Hakim and the ruler of not only those parts of Hijaz and Arabia, but also many other places were also conquered. And they were standby armies who were ready to fight on behalf of Yazid against Imam Hussain. So he is frightening with them. All kinds of oppression is taking place. Or Imam talks in this word, in kana deen Muhammadin, if Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if my just deen needs me, and it cannot get stabilized without my sacrifice, then oh suyuf, oh swords, come and hit me. I am ready to be slaughtered. I have no fear, and you cannot humiliate, and you cannot have any nonsense, non-serious activity with Hussain. This Hussain, who used to ride on the back of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that back which is higher than any place, even higher than the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Hussain was a markab, Hussain was a rakib of that markab. So you have to see Imam Hussain coming true to his promise with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In kana deen Muhammadin lam yastaqim illa biqatli faya suyuf khuzini. Then he says, I have not come here to get power. I'm not power hungry. I also do not want to spread even a single drop of blood of any one of you. If you don't understand, I want you to know that my job is إنما أخرجت للطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي رسول الله. I have come here only for the Islah of Ummah. I want the same thing which I have said before. I want to make sure that on this day, before Karbala, it was my father's face. It was my father's personality. Prophet had put him, the symbol between nifaq and iman, iman and hypocrisy, faith and hypocrisy. But now in Karbala, I am giving you a practical example. I want to make sure that you understand. Those who were saying only with the lip service, that time is gone. I will give a sacrifice in such a way. So that is that sacrifice we are coming back to remember and commemorate tonight. And tomorrow we'll pay our tributes and salam to Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. Islahi ummat, that is to reform the, and he was destined, he was given this destiny and this duty to do this job, because otherwise the whole thing will go in topsy-turvy and will not make any difference for what is right and what is wrong. So Imam is that criterion. That's what we call in Quran, Furqan, Al-Furqan Al-Hakim. Karbala is telling, Imam is saying, the Quran is nafiq. Remember my grandfather told you all. Do you remember this? Some of you. If not all of you, you might have come from different, you might be mercenaries who have been collected, gathered to kill me. But if you have not heard me, I am giving you the last chance. I am telling you who I am. Man arafani faqad arafani wa man lam ya'rifni fa ana u'arrifuhu. If you don't know me, I will tell you. I will do this. I am not very trigger happy. I am not ready to fight with you. Even when is he saying, Brother Hassan, that is the most important thing is when all of his people have died. They all have been killed. But Imam alayhi salatu wasalam has no wavering in his resolve. He still is the Imam of the time and standing up and saying, if you want to take the hidayah, if you want to understand what I am fighting for, understand that this is the time. Save yourself. Don't go to hell. Make good example and be on the side of the good people. This is he saying. I am who? I am the son of Muhammad Mustafa. I am the son of Ali al-Murtada. I am the son of Fatima al-Zahra, daughter of Prophet, who was Sayyidatun Nisa al-Alameen. He is telling all these people at the same time, he is telling the history to note who he was and why he was fighting for, what he was fighting for. And Ali Asghar is already gone. Ali Akbar is gone. But his sermon of guidance is still continuing. No revenge from him. That's why you see, he is Imam, and look at Imam's sister, how much or how pristine character she has to display. Being the daughter of Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, when she is asked in the court of Kufa, Ibn Ziyad Mal'un and Yazid ibn Mawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan Mal'un, when she is asked, how was it? How did you take it? You were humiliated, your people, your male people, your brother and other relatives, all were annihilated. And you know what the tigress of Ali told them? Said, yes, that was Allah had picked us up for this greater contribution, for this sacrifice. That we are thankful to Allah. He says, are you still saying this after all the pains and everything? He says, Wallahi, ma ra'aytu illa jamila. I have not seen anything but only the beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. wherever he took us. Subhanallah. Salam, our salutations to Bibi Zainab. And I must say that, O Prophet of Islam, O Ali Murtada, O Hussain Hassan, very lucky you are all. So lucky that you got a sister like Zainab. He saved Islam. He saved the honor of the family of Prophet. And as long as the world lives, the sacrifices and the contribution of Zainab cannot be forgotten. Salawat. Baradigar salawat. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with his teachings and his efforts and hard work in Mecca and Medina, he created a Jamaat, people who were, mashallah, believers, very strong ones. Some of them were weak, some of them were very strong, all the people. But essentially, if you look at with utter honesty, intellectual honesty, you will realize what he did was he brought the kalimatul la ilaha kalimatul tawheed, to the tongue of the people. He was working on it. And then you see how many people turned away. That shows how, that is why Al-Aili, I was saying in his book, says that in actuality, humanity and Islamic people have to understand and come to agreement to this fact that not only Prophet Muhammad is the founder of Islam, on the equal terms, the founder of Islam is Ali's son, Hussain ibn Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Because his job was even harder. And that is why he had to give harder sacrifices. And he is the founder because he was bringing that change, because the hukumat was trying to force people. There was a jabr, and in that there was a sigh of relief coming from the son of Prophet, from the grandson of Prophet and son of Fatima and Ali. A great message of hurriya, of freedom, that we can give everything, but we will not let our deen go astray. So, mashallah, we are those people, the dua of Janab Fatima Zahra, that we have been bestowed upon this dignity and this noble cause to remember Hussain in Karbala and Zainab in Kufa in Sham. So see the time, how it changes. If you look at the history, you will see that the day came few days before Arba'in. Yes, in history there is a little confusion. I must mention to my audience that some people, so there are two opinions, of course, if you sum it up, that was this the first year after Karbala that this Shuhlum which we are talking about happened, or it was the year after. So the historians have said that the way the possibility occurs at that time, there was so much of coercion, the reports and the history was not being written, not being mentioned. So in whatever the case may be, what was the same year, or that just in that time period, the atmosphere changed so much that one day, just few days before the Arba'in, Imam ﷺ was called by Yazid. His people came and asked him that Yazid wants to see you. He went to the court, and this time, the same Yazid, how much of a embodiment of hypocrisy he would be, like you have seen most of the people are, in this kingship you always find these people. He stood up to give respect to Imam Zainul Abidin ﷺ, who has still not been released from his chains. He comes and this hypocrite stands up and wants to give him a respect, and then he says, the report says, quite a few people have mentioned that the Yazid said, Ali ibn al-Hussein, I have a lot of respect for you. I am not the killer of your father. I am not the killer of your family. That was Ibn Ziyad. I also curse upon him, and he wanted to get himself absolved and say that now if you want, you can take anything from me and you can also sit on this stuff which is my chair. I ask you to sit down. Imam ﷺ looked at him with, of course, utmost resentment which he could have, and then he said that this is the chair which you have. You are a zalim person. I don't want to enjoy sitting on your chair. Where I am is the place where I want to be. He said, okay, I have given you, don't get angry with me, but I have called you to let you know that you are free to go. You want to stay here or you want to go, you give me your decision and I'll make your arrangements accordingly. Brothers and sisters, I know you, I would like to just finish it up, but this is some of these things we have to, that's the purpose of being here, that we repeat them, remember them, and then also at the same time, we wet our eyes with the sadness which we have in our heart for Ahlul Bayt's agony and pain. Salawat. Imam's reply was that, "O Yazid, even though I am Imam of the time, I cannot make this decision alone. I have to talk to the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib. I have to talk to the granddaughter of Prophet Muhammad who is a mother-like figure for me, and she has been the leader of this whole movement, and I have to talk to her." He said, okay, you go ahead. Imam came and talked to Bibi Zainab, and Bibi Zainab said, is it possible that you can go back and tell him that before we get released, first desire we want to have is, again, for you all ladies to know that Janab Zainab says that I want to have a broader and a wider place, a bigger house where I can have the majlis of Imam. So that I have not been able to cry fully to the desire of my heart for my dead ones, for Imam Hussain and others in Karbala. So I want to have that. And Imam ﷺ talked to him and he gave the place. And then he gave the other condition that my Pupi, my aunt, says that I have to, if you want us to leave, we will not leave without having the severed and separated heads of our near and dear ones. We want that back. We want also back the things which were snatched, the rings, earrings of Hazrat Sakinah, and also other tabarrukat which were taken away. So no matter where they are, he has to collect them and bring it to us. We want to take it back. Those are so pious and precious for us because they are the family of Prophet ﷺ's assets. All those shara'it, those conditions were met. Imam's sister, the first thing which she did, in that majlis, you will be surprised. That's why you see this majlis, from that day onward, we have kept the doors of this majlis open for everybody. Even no matter what religion you have. Because the first majlis was attended by a lot of Shamis, the people from the mission, the women who came. And they were not Shia, they were not even not the Mohibs, but they heard that Zainab has to speak, Ali's daughter has to say something about it. And she has gotten a chance to speak to them, give them the details of what happened in Karbala. That is, her very famous khutbah comes there, and in which she said that, is it not astonishing to see that the awlad Rasulullah has been door to door, they have been dragged. Look at how we my son Zainul Abidin was dragged in the streets of Damascus like he was a slave from Africa and had no helper, and he was the grandson of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, brothers and sisters, they all tried. They had this majlis, and the first, some people would say the first majlis was also maybe in Karbala, the very first day when Bibi dropped him herself from the camel and came closer to the body of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. But in a formal sense, after the captivity was over, they were no more imprisoned. The first thing they did was to establish. So this is the sunnah of Zainab Salamullah alayha, which you are doing here, O people of my faith, O very respected ladies and gentlemen. You are doing this great job for the great cause in Memphis. And Allah has blessed me to be with you, and I'm also reminding you that how important this is to do this job. So important. So that's what from the very beginning I said, that this is in the actuality, Islam would be a dead entity, a dead thing. Prophets, one grandson and one daughter, or maybe two daughters, these are the people who are responsible, giving a new life to Islam. And that is why we talk about this Arba'in. And this Arba'in, with my promise coming to an end, that Arba'in, and then the third thing I mentioned was, if I remember from the 5 important things, was that Ta'firul Jabeen, that a moment will put for sujood, he will make sure that he gets the sajdagah and the Khaki Shifa, the Turbate, Imam Hussain, and prostrates there. And Takhattum bil Yameen, and he will have a ring in his right hand. And bil Jahre Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And whenever he says, Moment Nishani, you are a follower of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan al-Mal'un. If you are not saying Bismillah bil Jahr, because he was the one who stopped Muslims overall who used to say before. But he said when he came to know that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is in one of the hadiths narrated by Imam Ibn Abbas, when it was told to Muawiyah that Bismillah contains the name of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ana nuqtatu tahta al-ba. When he said it, he said, okay, from now on, nobody will read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah's curse be on him. That when he realized this, he even denied that status. For 90 years, consecutively, there was khalees and very unclean kind of language which was used for Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. You also know for the fact that how much it was then when it was in Damascus, in Damascus, when the news arrived that somebody named Ali ibn Abi Talib was killed in Kufa in the masjid. Everybody else was talking, what the hell he was doing, sorry for my language, but that is, what was he doing in masjid? What Ali had to do with masjid? So Ali, who is the pillar of Salat himself, how much negativity was created and how much propaganda was there. So that is, Majlis was instituted by Janabe Zainab Salamullah alayha to make sure that every propaganda in any kind of media to this date can be defeated by this institution. Salawat. They took their stuff, they got the heads, they started traveling, they came, and this is the last few minutes or maybe a couple of minutes of my Masayib. I'm taking you to Karbala now. This is Karbala, and Bibi Zainab told Bashir ibn Jazlam that we want to go to Karbala, we don't want to go to Medina first. I have to pay tributes, I have to see my brother's grave, I have to see Ali Asghar's grave, I have to see where Farwaz Lal Qasim got Shaheed, and Ali Akbar. So all those ladies want to come to Karbala. they came closer to Karbala, and on that the same day, coincidentally, there is a Sahabi of Rasulullah, a very, very famous Sahabi. Some riwayat say that he was accompanied by a slave. Actually, he was not a slave. Atiyah ibn Sa'ad is a great muhaddis of his time, and he is a tabi'i and sahabi of Amir al-Mu'mineen. When he was born, his father came to Amir al-Mu'mineen and said, Mawla, I have a son who is like Ata of Allah, Atiyah. So he said, can you give him a name? He says, you have taken the name. Call him Atiyatullah. So his name was Atiyah ibn Sa'ad. So he was specially requested by Jabir, because Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, alayhi salatu wassalam, because he is a great, very pious and loyal Sahabi of Rasul Pak. We have all the effort. That heart makes no sense to me. It is not a living heart who cannot respect a loyal friend and Sahabi of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. See, when you see this discussion, you realize why I am saying it. When Imam of the time calls and talks to Jabir ibn Abdullah, who is also on the day of Arba'in, has arrived by doing a lot of traveling and has heard about it and then traveled almost like 40 days after hearing after the Ashur, maybe a month or so, that he has come there, and when Imam talks to him, he calls him Ammu Jabir ibn Abdullah, my my uncle. So Imam is calling him this son, and he is the same Sahabi who was given this right by Imam al-Anbiya, the Rasul Khuda sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that you will see the Imams, the fifth and the Imams of, you will live after all my Sahabas, and you will see my fifth Imam of the time as well. So that's why he met finally before dying and accepting the death at the end of his life. He also met Imam Muhammad. He is very naive. He cannot see very little bit of light left. He is almost what we call here legally blind. So he is in Karbala and he does not know. So he asked him to come. You are a young man, give me some help. So he went there, mashallah. That's why we have to remember that whatever the good and loyal people have put some nice traditions, those are so followed. He said the first time the ziyarah which he did in the desert of Karbala, that is called Ziyaratul Arba'in. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. That's the ziyarat which you all collectively will read tomorrow. And right now, there's the time coming very close in Iraq, where in Karbala would be the same riayat, same ziyarat will be read. And maybe follow that. Open your televisions. Take advantage of the modern technology. See how the people are saying salam to Aqa Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, Abu Abdullah Hussain. So, my dear brothers and sisters, he is there and he is not able to know because of his eyes and his, that he said to Atiyah, if I see the graves, I will tell you which one is the grave of the grandson. Because I can smell him. He was so close to me when he used to come to Masjid al-Nabawi. I know his smell. So when Atiyah brought him in the Ganj Shahida, in that place where the graves are, and then he was unable to recognize, he could not see anything. Then his words, he said, "Oh Hussein, don't you hear the sound of your friend? So, and if you can hear me, give me the answer." Then he says, "Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah." The reports say that he heard from his ears that the voice came, "Wa alayka assalam ya Jabir ibn Abdullah." My salam to you. And then he realized and he dropped himself right at that spot where the sound came. And then he embraced the qabr, the grave of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. Brothers, so great, such a great activity. The people are doing it. Jabir, after doing this, then Atiyah told him, "Jabir, I see some people coming from a little far from here, but I can see there is a caravan which is coming. And he sat down there, he waited, I want to see why they are coming to this Gharib Hussain. What is their purpose? And when they came closer, all the people came from the horse's back, from all the places. They started walking and they were all crying when he heard the sounds of the bibis and our great ladies. Somebody was saying, Wa Ali Akbara, Wa Abbasa. There was another man who said, Wa Qasima, Wa Ali Asghara. And there was a bibi who was in front of all of them and he said, Wa Husaina, Wa Ghariba. He understood that the people of Ahlul Bayt have been released and they are coming. He left the place there and he said, Atiya, take me to the corner. Ahlul Bayt are coming here. And then he said, Atiya, if you see a man there, it would be Sayyid Sajjad, and tell him that I am Jabir ibn Abdullah and I have come to say salam. Imam, when he received his message, Imam came to Jabir and said, Ammu salamun alaykum wa rahmatullah. So Allah's mercy be on you that you have come even before we have arrived here. You are the first one. That is which constituted this whole, the manasik of Adha on this day of Arba'in, and that is how it was glorified, this whole ritual by our Imams and Masumeen. May Allah give us tawfiq to be in that ibadah as soon as life allows. You and me get permission to be there. I have, mashallah, been there before, but I want to be there every year. And it's definitely at this time, when you talk about millions of people, you have to be also physically very fit to go there. But young people, I encourage you to not waste your time. The best pilgrimage you can make, which includes, and you know the sawab of that. And who is sawab? Who receives you there? The Hadith Kamilul Ziyarat says, the lady of Our Lady of Light, the daughter of Rasulullah, Hazrat Fatimatul Zahra, is receiving all the Zahireen which are coming there and saying thank you to them that you have come and you are not letting the mission of Hussain die. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiyul alim bijah Muhammadin wa alihi al-masumeen. Oh my Lord, in the name of Hazrat Zahra, I seek your acceptance of our prayers, our dua, answer our duas. In the name of Janab Sakinah, Janab Abbas, those people who came here, there was obviously, there is a ban of Janab, there's the crying, wailing of Janab Zainab, which mentions to Imam Hussain, that Imam Hussain, I have come to you, but your amana, you gave me a custody of your little one, and she has left us in the Kharabat of Sham, in the prison of Sham. I am so unhappy and sad, I have not been able to bring your daughter back to you. Allah, bas wasta wa wasila is tarare Hazrat Zainab Salamullah alayha. Or khas taur par, on this day, we remember the istarar of Janab Rubab alayhi salatu salam. I must tell you here also, Tariq here is also divided, that it says Imam alayhi salatu wasalam convinced Hazrat Rubab to go to Medina. There are other very strong reports, they say Bibi took permission and stayed there. It was a year after that when Imam alayhi salatu wasalam brought him back to Medina, the Bibi Rubab alayhi salatu wasalam. And when she arrived in Medina, shortly after that she died, because she had promised to Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, the Azadar, the wife, and Imam and the mother of Ali Asghar, that she would not sit in a shadow, in any kind of under a shadow or any shade. Throughout, she would be day and night in the open, and she was the first mujawir. That's what we are told when we have this reports of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Rubab. May our salutations be to him, to her, to all others. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for these Pak and pious ladies and Shuhada-e Karbala. Give us tawfiq more and more, and give us the strength to follow the path of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. سيعلمون الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein,
ای سرو افتاده چمن عباس من عباس من ای کشته صد پارتن عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من آمدم در علقمه با مادر خود فاطمه چشمی گوشا حرفی بزن عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من گشت افزون زخم تنت از حلقه های تو من گشت افزون زخم تنت از حلقه های جوشنت چیزی نماند از این بدن عباس من عباس من عباس من بعد از تو سقای حرم گردید دو چشم دخترم گریت چو شمع انجمن عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من از تشنکامی در حرم خشکو شده و از اصغرم از تشنکامی در حرم لبهای خشکی اصغرم گردیده با تو هم سخن عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من ای ساقی لب تشنگان با بودن آب روان داری چرا خون در دهان عباس من عباس من داغد بدل آتش تنت هجری تو از پا فگن البنین را در وطن عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من عباس من یا حسین یا حسین
Ya Hussein.
الوداع 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 اے حسین 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 الوداع یہ صدائے فغاں اور یہ مجلسیں ماتم و نوحہ اور غم کی یہ زینتیں چاہتا ہے یہ دل یوں ہی قائم رہے چاہتا ہے یہ دل یوں ہی قائم رہے آہ پھٹتا ہے دل کس طرح یہ کہیں الوداع 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 اے حسین الوداع بخش دے ہو گئی ہو جو کوئی خطا حق کے خدمت نہ ہم سے ادا ہو سکا غم یہی ہے نہ جی بھر کے ماتم کیا غم یہی ہے نہ جی بھر کے ماتم کیا تیری خاطر نہ کیوں اپنا سر دے دیا الوداع 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 اے حسین الوداع الوداع گر جیے سال بھر پھر کریں گے یہ غم روئیں گے پھر تیرے غم میں مل کر بہاں اور اگر مر گئے تو یہ ہوگا علام اور اگر مر گئے تو یہ ہوگا علام آئے افسوس جی بھر کے روئے نہ الوداع 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 اے حسین الوداع میرے مہمان ہے آخری سلام تجھ پہ قربان ہے آخری سلام شاہ ذیشان ہے آخری سلام شاہ ذیشان ہے آخری سلام دل ہے ویران ہے آخری سلام الوداع 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 اے حسین الوداع الوداع اے حسین الوداع الوداع اے شہ مشرقین الوداع بنت احمد کے اے نور عین الوداع بنت احمد کے اے نور عین الوداع ہے مجاہد کے لب پر یہ بین الوداع 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 اے حسین الوداع 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 اے حسین حسين الوداع 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 يا حسين يا ابو فاضل سيدي جيتك دخيل وحاشا تردني يا ابن الطاهرة جيت وصوابي ابد ما ظن يطيب وبيك من الله عليه المقدرة اليوم جيتك انا يا ابن الموزمات وخاطر المكسور ريدك تجبره انا ريدا حاجتي انا بدي وسيدي ومولاي ارجو المعذرة شلون اجيب انطار ايده بمجلسك وانت يا مولاي يديك مبتره من طب لحضرتك واسمع نحيب اذكر يتامك يا سبع القنطره واذكر الحوراء زينب يا شفيل علهز ديك الاميره ميسره بجاه زينب شمعة قليبك عليك وانا ادري بجاهها مخدره ما ترد خدامك الا بغانمات وما ترد خدامك انت محيره انت قلب المعركة وقلب الحسين وانت حامي الميمنة والميسرة وانت كنت السيطرة بالنهروان ومنه ياهو اللي عبرها السيطرة وانت بالطف كنت لحسين العضيد وكان ابوك ويا النبي نفسك ترى وكان ابوك ويا النبي نفسك ترى شديت يا قلبي من الصبر للضيم شديت شدة زول يا عباس شديت عليك دمعاتي بالشباك شديت عليك دموع زينب حلها لي قصار جيتك والمرض بالروح قصار وعفت بالبيت كوم اطفال قصار شقلهم حاشا والعباس قصر وانا ادري بماي زمزم انت ميه صلوا على محمد وآل محمد يا مليك احساسنا يا امير انفاسنا يا مليك احساسنا يا امير انفاسنا قسم بالله يذبحونا نحورنا نصيح من قبورنا وحسينا للأبد باقي العزاء كربلاء يا كربلاء للأبد باقي العزاء كربلاء يا كربلاء ننتظر هذا اللقاء كربلاء يا كربلاء ننتظر هذا اللقاء كربلاء يا حلم دنيانا ظل يعيش ويانا يا ظلم دنيانا ظل يعيش ويانا بين العيون انتظر أرواحنا نلتقي بمصباحنا علة الكون احنا أرباب الوفاء كربلاء يا كربلاء واحنا أرباب الوفاء كربلاء بلا ننتظر هذا اللقاء كربلاء ننذبح من بالي للحسين الغالي ننذبح من بالي للحسين الغالي احنا احرار خطوة لا ما نرجع والله لو نتقطع نبقى انصار هذا ميثاق السماء كربلاء يا كربلاء هذا ميثاق السماء ننتظر هذا اللقاء كربلاء يا كربلاء ننتظر هذا اللقاء بالعشق جنينا بالدمى خطينا حنت ويا نتابع مشوارنا ثار الله وثارنا شلون ننساه نكتب بغير الدماء كربلاء يا كربلاء نكتب بغير الدماء كربلاء يا كربلاء ننتظر هذا اللقاء كربل، والله ما نتبدل وبسوا ما نقبل، صحنا هيهات صحنا هيهات، كل سما وكل وادي صوت دمنا ينادي، يا لثارات يا لثارات، هذا ثار الأنبياء كربلاء هذا ثار الأنبياء كربلاء، ننتظر هذا اللقاء ننتظر هذا اللقاء، جبهة الريحانة مصطفى وقرآنه، حي نشوفه حي نشوفه، احنا حتى بموتنا ظل يردد صوتنا، ما نعوفه ما نعوفه، قبلة العز والعباء كربلاء يا كرب، قبلة العز والعباء، ننتظر هذا اللقاء، ساعة نتقدم احنا ما نتكلم، تحكي السيوف تحكي السيوف، من هو يلوي ذراعنا شيعة من أطباعنا، يرجف الخوف يرجف الخوف، إنما يركع لواء كربلاء يا كرب، إنما يركع لواء كربلاء يا كرب، ننتظر هذا اللقاء كربلاء، دنيا تقرأ حروفنا والزمان يشوفنا، ما نطق راس ما نطق راس، تبقى غيرة حيدر بينا وعد الأكبر، وزود عباس وزود عباس، ننزل عليهم بلاء كربلاء يا كربلاء، ننزل عليهم بلاء كربلاء، ننتظر هذا اللقاء ننتظر هذا اللقاء، أنت الأول وآخر ولا نختار بين اثنين، أخوتها أنت الأول وآخر ولا نختار بين اثنين، يا قرآن رب الكون ما تنقسم قرآنين، لا قبلك ولا بعدك مثلك ما مثلك ينخلق يا حسين، يا قبل الدين المشاية يا قبل الدين يا قبل الدين المشاية يا قبل الدين المشاية يا قبل الدين، نمشي لك مشي عالروس مو بالزحف نمشي لك، نتحدى ونجي يا حسين دم وارواح نفدي لك، وبدم الشهادة اليوم نتوضى ونصلي لك، وبحبك صمنا وصلينا وبحبك صمنا وبحبك صمنا وبحبك صمنا وبحبك صمنا، لا منعوف درب حسين لو بسيوف نتقطع، ولو ما ترجع بني سفيان كلها أبد ما نرجع، تطلع روحنا والله وحب حسين ما يطلع، والعاف حسين يطم روحه والعاف حسين، طم روحه والعاف حسين، طم روحه والعاف حسين او العاف حسين، طم روح لو ندري الزيارة عليك نمشي وننكتل بيها، ما نتركها لا يا حسين بالعباس نمشيها، كل منطيها للزهراء بالدم شرط نوفيها، وبالدم الحسين نضحيله بالدم الحسين، ضحيله بالدم الحسين، ضحيله بالدم الحسين، كل مشاهدين اليوم باخذ باب عباسه ياخذ غيره من الريح حتى يشيلك براسه، من قبل الهوى حسين تشمك هوى انفاسه، يا غير